From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
The All Indiana Podcast Network.
This is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now all the latest news.
Kylie Conway has all the news you need to know.
And more.
Please stand by.
This episode of News 8 Daily 8 is presented by Downtown Indy.
Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Thursday, October 8th. Another sunny and warm day. Just fantastic with highs in the mid-70s. So hopefully you'll get some time to get out there and enjoy it today. Okay, President Donald Trump says he will not participate in next week's debate with Democratic nominee Joe Biden if it's virtual. So this morning, debate organizers announced that the debate would be virtual because of Trump's diagnosis of COVID-19. The Commission on Presidential Debates made that announcement, of course, a week before Trump and Biden are scheduled to face off in Miami. It said the candidates will participate from separate remote locations, while the participants and moderator stay there in Miami. But Trump this morning, after that announcement, told Fox News that he's not going to do a virtual debate. He was diagnosed with the coronavirus a week ago and said he looked forward to debating Biden on stage in Miami. So we will stay on top of that and let you know what happens there. And the candidates for vice president met for the first and only time last night in a high-stakes debate. The coronavirus, of course, dominated the conversation. The debate offered a long view of Vice President Mike Pence and Senator Kamala Harris, the two who are vying to be a heartbeat away from the presidency. 74-year-old President Donald Trump is recovering from the virus. Joe Biden is 77 years old. Both would be the oldest U.S. president in history. A noticeably different debate in style last night in substance from what we saw in last week's first presidential debate. Each candidate dodged a question, but before we get to that, let's look back at how they did respond to key issues, including COVID-19 response, healthcare, and the economy. Here's Nina Criscolo.
It's no surprise coronavirus took center stage at the start of Wednesday night's vice presidential debate. Vice President Mike Pence, who leads the White House coronavirus task force, was put on the defensive after Kamala Harris attacked the Trump administration's handling of the pandemic.
Can you imagine if you knew on January 28th, as opposed to March 13th, what they knew, what you might have done to prepare? They knew and they covered it up. The president said it was a hoax. They minimized the seriousness of it.
Pence stuck to Trump's promise that a vaccine is coming.
The reality is that we're going to have a vaccine, Senator, in record time, in unheard of time, in less than a year. We have 5 companies in phase 3 clinical trials, and we're right now producing tens of millions of doses.
Harris said Joe Biden's plan for dealing with coronavirus revolves around testing, contact tracing, and ensuring a vaccine is free. With health care, Pence painted Harris as a progressive by highlighting her past support for the Green New Deal and Medicare for All legislation.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris consistently talk about mandates, and not just mandates with the coronavirus, but a government takeover of health care, the Green New Deal, all government control.
We have seen a pattern with this administration, which is they don't believe in science. And Joe's plan is about saying we're going to deal with it, but we're also going to create jobs.
The candidates drawing stark contrasts in policy and personality.
President Donald Trump, who brought all of that experience 4 years ago, and turned this economy around by cutting taxes, rolling back regulation.
Joe Biden believes you measure the health and the strength of America's economy based on the health and the strength of the American worker and the American family. On the other hand, you have Donald Trump, who measures the strength of the economy based on how rich people are doing.
That was Nina Criscolo reporting, and as she reported, each VP did dodge a question. For Harris, it was a question from Pence unpacking the Supreme Court. Pence then didn't answer the moderator's question about how he'd respond if President Trump refused a peaceful handover of power if he were to lose the election. And Pence will be back in Indiana tomorrow. He'll be casting his early ballot at the City County building in Indianapolis. He and the Second Lady are scheduled to arrive on Air Force 2 at 11:35 a.m., then voting at the City County building 40 minutes later at 12:15 p.m. Russell Hollis, he's the deputy director at the Marion County Clerk's Office, and says that voters should experience minimal impact. The voting will not need to be shut down for a security sweep before he arrives. And Pence continues to use the governor's residence at 4750 North Meridian as his listed residence, though he hasn't lived there in almost 4 years. A spokeswoman with the Secretary of State's office said a person does not lose their Indiana residence when state or federal business is the reason they've left, saying they can provide an alternate mailing address. It's a practice most commonly used by voters in the military. Hollis hopes Pence's presence at the polls can reassure voters that it is safe to do this in person. And some details are still being worked out, including whether the vice president can cut the line.
But they gave me Regeneron, and it was like unbelievable. I felt good immediately. I felt as good 3 days ago as I do now. So I just want to say we have Regeneron. We have a very similar drug from Eli Lilly, and they're coming out, and we're trying to get them on an emergency basis.
President Trump says he is working to get approval for a drug by Indianapolis-based Lilly. The president sent the message while hailing the experimental treatment he was given while in the hospital with COVID-19. The drug by Lilly is similar to Regeneron in that it uses antibodies. Lilly says it could supply as many as 1 million doses of its therapy in the final quarter of 2020. Both Lilly and Regeneron are waiting for emergency use authorization from the FDA.
Searching for a romantic summer getaway? Escape with Rich Girl Summer, the new Audible original from Lily Chu. The exquisitely talented Philippa Sue, returning to narrate her 5th Lily Chu title. This time, Philippa is joined by her real-life husband, Stephen Pasquale. Set in Toronto's wealthy cottage country, aka the Hamptons of Canada, Rich Girl Summer follows the story of Valerie, a down-on-her-luck event planner posing as a socialite's long-lost daughter, while piecing together the secrets surrounding a mysterious family and falling deeper and deeper in love with the impossibly hard-to-read and infuriatingly handsome family assistant, Nico. Caught between pretending to belong and unexpectedly finding where she truly fits in, Valerie learns her summer is about to get far more complicated than she ever planned. She's in over her head and head over heels. Listen to Rich Girl Summer now on Audible. Go to audible.com/richgirlsummer.
Indiana health officials say they are especially concerned about a spike in cases in the state's southwestern counties. This week, 8 counties are now orange, and 1, Pike County, is red on the state's coronavirus map. Red is the highest level of concern. The map indicates the weekly number of cases per 100,000 people. State health officials believe they know what caused the rise in the cases. They're pointing to events like funerals and weddings, some bars, and even athletic events. Data also showed state hospitals were treating COVID-19 patients at a level last seen in May. Members of Indiana Task Force 1 are on their way now to help in Hurricane Delta recovery. The team posted on social media this morning saying 35 people are heading to the Gulf Coast. They're not exactly sure where yet, but people along the Gulf Coast are bracing for their 6th storm this year. States of emergency are declared in Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi. Evacuations are underway in parts of Louisiana and Alabama. And people in Cancun, Mexico, are cleaning up after the storm hit there. There are down power lines and trees. Buildings are damaged. Delta battered Mexico as a Category 1 storm yesterday. Officials say there are no deaths or injuries, so that's the good news there, but the storm did knock out power. Police in Louisville are releasing details about the department's own investigation into the shooting of Breonna Taylor. It includes audio and video files and thousands of pages of documents. They cover everything from the initial drug case against a man Taylor had dated to the raid on Taylor's home, which ended in Taylor's death in a hail of gunfire. Louisville's Mayor Greg Fisher called for the release of the internal investigation, saying it was important to do it as quickly as possible. It's all available for anyone to read right now on the LPD website. Now to business headlines. Eli Lilly shares jumped as it's seeking emergency use authorization for its COVID antibody treatment. The company announced yesterday that its drug, which on top of being mentioned by the president, as I said, it has also proven to reduce the rate of hospitalizations for coronavirus patients. It showed similar results when combined with another antibody treatment made by the company. Amazon Prime Day is scheduled for October 13th to 14th, and 67% of Americans plan to shop more than on Black Friday and Cyber Monday in 2020. The online retail giant's 48-hour sales event marks a top shopping day for American consumers, beating out both Black Friday and Cyber Monday. A 2020 Retail Me Not survey, Amazon Prime Day is expected to be the #1 shopping day in the 4th quarter. Wells Fargo cut more than 700 commercial banking jobs as it embarks on workforce reductions that could ultimately number in the tens of thousands. This is according to people with knowledge on the matter. Bloomberg reports the terminations affected positions across the division. The bank says it's at the start of a multi-year cost-cutting effort. Walmart is entering the health insurance business just in time for those signing up for Medicare open enrollment, which starts October 15th. Walmart Insurance Services to assist people with enrolling insurance plans and simplify what's historically been a cumbersome, confusing process. Fewer people at Thanksgiving tables means that many households are looking to buy smaller turkeys. CNN reports chains like Giant Eagle and Stu Leonard's are buying smaller birds, and Walmart is increasing its availability of boneless and bone-in turkey breasts, which amount to less meat than a full bird. Meanwhile, farmers say that they're going to make some adjustments like slaughtering birds earlier. You should be able to walk through art next summer at Newfields. The museum expects the Loom Indianapolis to open in June of next year. Newfield says special projectors will turn two-dimensional paintings into three-dimensional worlds. It says the space will take up the entire fourth floor and be the largest continuous exhibit in the museum's history. Newfield says the first artist to be featured will be Dutch Impressionist painter Vincent van Gogh. And Zubu is now open at the Indianapolis Zoo, and Wish TV is this year's media partner. Zubu is open every Wednesday through Sunday until November 1st with trick-or-treating for the kids, and there is some fun for grown-ups too. You can find the details and ticket information on wishtv.com. I know I'm taking my family there tomorrow afternoon, and just a reminder, if you are a Zoo member or you're planning on going to Zubu, you do need to make a reservation for the time that you can enter. This is all precautions due to the pandemic, so just be sure to go to the zoo's website or through wishtv.com and sign up for a time slot. And today you can help a family through a crisis by eating pizza. That sounds like a win-win to me. 4-year-old Brinley Niederhaus has an inoperable brain tumor. The Papa John's in Greenfield is now raising funds to help with her medical expenses. Of course, they have skyrocketed. 20% of all sales will be donated to the family. There will also be raffles, a bake sale, and some face painting, and the proceeds of all of that will also go to Brinley's family. The Papa John's is at 1001 North State Street there in Greenfield. You can call them to place an order, or you can also place an order online at papajohns.com. Just make sure you order from that store. The store opened this morning at 9 o'clock and will stay open until 11 o'clock tonight, so you got a lot of opportunity there. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This episode of News 8 Daily 8 is presented by Downtown Indy.
Check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.
allindianapodcastnetwork.com.